Hello, Bucs fans. Welcome back to Real Bucs Talk. In today's video, we are going to talk about the Buccaneers offensive coordinator search as it continues. The Buccaneers have completed some interviews with some interesting candidates. And Mark, as we see on the screen there, they completed an interview with Marcus Brady for the offense coordinator position. Just your opening thoughts on Marcus, and do you think he's a vital candidate for this opening?
I mean, just like years past when they had to go through this OC search, they literally just didn't leave any stone unturned, right? So they're gonna find any bright mind, any play caller with experience or anything, and see what they are, right? And when you start seeing some of these names, you're like, who the heck is this? Because you don't really hear about coaches unless they're the big name ones, right? So you hear guys like Marcus Brady. You're gonna keep going down the line of some of these young guys, and I think no matter what, you just got to see what they have. How do they communicate? How do they speak? How do they see football? And I think that's one area Todd Bowles kind of he knows how to pick them in that fashion because believe it or not, Todd Bowles is a good mind in the game of football, even though he may not speak it in front of media the proper way.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And just looking at Marcus here again, he was a former offensive coordinator with the Indianapolis Colts. Didn't call plays though because Frank Wright was the play caller. When you look at that, he helped them have a very good rushing attack in 2021. Things kind of fell off the mat there in 2022, where it just kind of went sideways and he was eventually fired, and then I think Frank Wright also was fired later that year. So kind of a down year, but he's also the quarterbacks coach. He coached Andrew Luck. He coached, I believe it was Carson Wentz, and then Matt Ryan. So a lot of different quarterbacks there at one point. So again, intriguing candidate. But let's look at who else they interviewed. And no, this is not Reed Richards from Fantastic Four. They completed an interview with Grant Udinski, who's a assistant for the Minnesota Vikings. Very impressive young guy, Mark. So just your thoughts on this one.
This one's a wild one. I mean, the guy's only
Yeah.
29. It makes some of us feel real old. But I mean, going into it, you hear nothing but good things the more you research on the guy. It's like this guy's dedicated to football. He'll stay the extra hours no matter what. He puts the players before himself. And he was like the coach's pet. Like literally anything needed to be done, he would do it. The big concern is you're so young. How much football do you have under you, right? How much knowledge or awareness to certain situations do you have? Plus, he wasn't a play caller, right? And neither was Dave Canales, and we learned how much he'd had to go through a learning curve of calling plays early on in the season. Then he just got better as the season went on. Big thing is though, with Liam Cohen gone, how much of his staff stays, right? So if a lot of the staff stays and you're just plug and play in an OC, a guy like this with a really bright mind may fit into that role, but still, you don't know. So much is up in the air. It's just you look at him, you hear how people speak about him. It's like a brain of football. So take it with what you do. It's how does he communicate that to the players as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I think with this one, I look at it from a standpoint of his name was just being brought up in so many circles. He's already interviewed for the Seahawks offense coordinator job. He interviewed for the Patriots position as well. So I think when you just go along with league and what was being spoke of and who was the hot name, definitely his name arose to the occasion. So I feel like this was just an interview where the Buccaneers are thinking, well, let's give him a shot. Let's get more information on him, see if he can actually be a legit candidate for this position. And yes, 29 years old, so super young. You don't know like who would he be able to bring in as far as staff goes. Like, would he want to bring in certain people, or would he be okay with keeping the guys here that are already in place? So there's a lot of questions with this one, but there's also tremendous upside. But I think the risk might be a little bit too much for where the Bucs want to go. So we shall see. So far, they've interviewed, three guys, or at least reported to interview. So obviously Marcus Brady and now Grant Udinski. They also interviewed, which I hope you guys saw the video about Nate Shieldhouse from with the Rams, and then also he worked at Iowa State for a while. Had offensive coordinator experience, so I think right now, when you look at it among the three, he's probably the leader in the clubhouse. Just from the reported interviews, I think his resume speaks for itself. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here. But hope you guys enjoyed this video. And with that said, everyone have a great week. Please hit that like button. Comment down below your thoughts of these interviews so far, and who do you guys want as the Bucs' next offensive coordinator? Let us know. And see you until the next one.
Woo!